Okay, we're here at the final interview wrap-up for HBase conference. We've had a slew of guests here. This has been an amazing day here in really the power circles of technology in Silicon Valley and around the world, around the future of open source, Hadoop, HBase, MapReduce, HDFS. This is where the epicenter of change is happening, and we're here on the ground, siliconangle.com, siliconangle.tv's coverage of what's hottest thing in tech right now, and all that's happening right here. Very inner circle group of people are making decisions about the future, all out in the open, and it really is the power circles. I'm joined with Michelle Bailey, Chief Data Scientist with VDPfinder.com, stealth startup. I was doing some seminal work in HBase with social data in a new role, formerly of IDC. As an analyst, I'm talking about this as a power circle. What are you seeing here around this community and in the future, and what this could disrupt and enable at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you see here is a very committed team to what's really a new open source movement. And you know, if I step back and think about it as I would have as an analyst, you know, you're looking for a very committed team of people to a project, and very clearly all the people that are here today are not only committed to the Hadoop project or the Apache project, but they're very, very serious about ensuring that this moves forward, because, you know, you think about it, all the guys that are here, they've had the most experience in using Hadoop and HBase, whether it's Facebook, Yahoo. And they're
technical leads. This is a serious conference.
Very much so. And I think, you know, I think that's what's really struck me about this conference today is that they were very consistent in who came to the conference. This is very much the developer community, this is the programming, engineering community, the architects of the future are here, and
they're building an industry. What I find fascinating is that one, why I'm excited and why I'm excited to hear about your new role is that this ecosystem is small and growing very rapidly, and it is disrupting and enabling at the same time. And one thing that's not talked about in this event is there's no real business conversation, but let's talk about the economics involved and what this could disrupt. So we'll talk about enablement in a minute, but you know, think about the disruption that this could do. We had some folks on today, and they talked off camera and said, you know, I said, what about the dot-com bubble? Facebook went public. Are we in another bubble? Of course, I'm on record saying it's an innovation bubble, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. And they said, they hope not, but they said, but you know what, John? The economics are behind us. So this is from an engineer, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
talk about that.
Right, that's what's very different about this from the last time. I think, you know, what was different the last time, too, is everybody was hoping to catch eyeballs and drive ad revenue. I think what's very different here is that it's, you know, you should think of Facebook throughout the future as, you know, they're like a bank, right? They hold all the names. They know who everybody is, they know what their interests are, they know how they connect to other people. And so what Facebook really is moving forward is an asset manager. And really the success of Facebook is going to be predicated on their ability not to screw up what they've got, which is a tremendous amount of information that who only knows what the value of that information is going to be 10 or 20 years from now. And I think that that's why everybody's having a hard time with the pricing, is nobody really knows how to measure that going forward. So, you know, if Facebook does a good job, manages their asset well, they'll figure out the business model for that. But I think you're right. I think
they're doing such huge volume, $2.3 billion in ad revenue on a dying ad model. Can you imagine if they move quickly into a big data product?
They have information on whatever it is, 900 million users, right? So what's really incumbent on the next generation of Facebook workers is how do you manage that asset and then drive revenue from that tremendous asset that they own. It's really not about you know, where they're
So let's take some of the classic enterprise data warehousing environments. So, you know, obviously on Channel 1, on SiliconANGLE Channel 1, we have EMC World, where they live in that data warehouse business intelligence world. I mean, literally with HBase on the analytics side and some of the stuff with Hive and MapReduce and HDFS, you could roll into these companies, literally take down incumbent filers and data warehouses for a third of the cost.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's
absolutely,
how can
right?
you deny that?
It's classic disruption. So, you know, for a lot of the big data projects that are out there, you could probably solve a lot of those today with some high-end data warehousing solutions, you know, whether it's Exadata or whatever it may be. You're just doing it at a price point that doesn't grow linearly with the data, right? So if you double your data, your cost may be fourfold or eightfold. So that's the challenge that a lot of companies have today with those traditional models.
What did you learn today out in the event? I saw you had some great conversations with a lot of the alpha geeks as well as some of the CEOs here from some of these analytics companies and also in the sessions with Facebook. What was your takeaway?
Yeah, I think the thing that surprised me the most when I was able to talk to the executive management here is that they really are focused on the business side of things, and I think that that's something we forget. A lot of these discussions are so technical and you're talking down so far in the weeds, but they really do have a good view on what the prize is, and their eye is very much on that, focusing on the business discussion. I think that we do forget that because a lot of these conversations do tend to be very technical. So, one of the things I think you're going to watch for is the open source community matures, and as the functionality of the products mature, is that you want to watch for the guys that are, as you call them, the alpha guys, that they're able to transition that conversation back to business problems. And a lot of the major technology vendors right now do a great job in meeting with customers, talking about the technology problem and ensuring that those problems get taken care of, whether it's through people or whatever manually intensive task it is. But as these guys start to automate a lot of that, what you're going to want to watch for is that they're building products to solve business problems, not just to solve technical speeds.
What did you think about your VDP product relative, now that we've down through HBase conference? How do you feel about the prospects of the VDP product?
Incredibly positive. I think one of the things that we have to think about is that even though there's going to be a lot of open source products today that are going to sit alongside traditional products for a long time, so particularly relational databases and a lot of the NoSQL databases, they'll be living and coexisting for a long time. What we have to remember is all that new data that's getting created is unstructured data, and it's not going to be like we're trying to sustain both markets because both markets are growing equally. They're not. So unstructured data is growing through the roof, and what I take away from that is that the opportunity here is unlimited. This truly is a new phase.
It's a whole new industry.
IT,
I think
absolutely.
it's just not an augmentation to an existing industry. I think this is from why I'm so excited about big data and why I'm constantly fawning over all these tech athletes that are here, is that this truly reminds me of the PC industry back in the early 80s, where the PC industry was a whole generation of people. Not a recycled or a tweak of an existing industry. This truly represents a whole new change in business and tech and architecture. So it's a wonderful opportunity to be an entrepreneur.